Brian Newcomb, defensive line coach at Lincolnway East High School, Frankfort, Illinois. The drills we saw today were just a few of our agility bag drills. We try to do these drills 1 to 2 days a week during the season. We try to get them 2 to 3 days a week during the summer, especially during camp. And all these drills are aimed at developing athleticism, pad level, and technique in our defensive linemen. What we saw today was these drills. We were running them underneath a D-line cage, really emphasizing knee bend and pad level. But there are ways around that if you don't have a cage available to you. Well, what we start out with is we have 5 agility bags lined up, each of them spaced about 1 yard apart. We like to keep them nice and wide because we want to emphasize a good wide shoulder width base in everything that we do. If the bags are too narrow when we're trying to move laterally, we end up with guys that get a very narrow base and end up off balance. The 3 drills that we saw today were our lateral drill, were the zigzag drill, and then what we call the 4-bag drill. The lateral drill starts very simply. We set up a line of defensive linemen on one end of the bags, one end of the cage. Drill begins out of a stance. The coach usually takes a position in the middle of the line, 3 to 4 yards away. Drill begins on a whistle. Defensive lineman needs to come out of his stance, 2 hard steps, shooting his hands. Everything we do, we emphasize good footwork, and always punching with the hands. And the defensive linemen have to be extremely disciplined not to take any extra steps, not to stutter or to shuffle in place. It's 2 steps forward and then moving laterally. We emphasize always touching the bags in every drill, hands down on the bags. Again, this emphasizes getting used to feeling and seeing things happening in front of us with our hands on a blocker. And it's also a great way to force guys to keep low, flat backs and good bend in their knees. If you do not have a cage available to you, this is a great way to make sure that guys are still doing these drills low with great pad level, great body position. The lateral drill then, points of emphasis, making sure that the lead foot is always coming across first. If the bag is to my left foot always wants to move first. That way, again, I keep a wide base and I never get my feet crossed up. The coach, in his position out here, should be down on his knees, and this allows him to see everything happening in front of him. And also, one of the things that we do is as our players are coming through these bags, the coach will flash him 2 numbers. I usually just alternate between 1 and 2, but you can do as many as you want, if your players can see it well enough. The point here is making sure that our players have their eyes up and are seeing the things developing in front of them and not simply looking down at the bags. They need to know where the bags are with their hands and their feet. They need to see what's upfield with their eyes. And I'll usually try to aim to give the players their 2 numbers between these first 2 bags and between these last 2 bags, really emphasizing keeping their eyes up the whole way down the line. We'll do the drill both directions, and then the next drill we'll restart with what we call our zigzag drill. The drill will begin this time with the line in the middle facing the bags, and this drill typically begins on movement. The coach can set up right in front of the line of players using a ball, using their foot, just anything to simulate ball movement. And the zigzag drill, the players, again, they fire out low, shoot their hands, and we are just weaving in and out of the bags. One of the things we emphasize is, again, keeping shoulders, hips, and toes as square upfield as possible. But on that same token, we don't want to get in the habit of shuffling back and forth. We want to see guys popping their hips, planting their outside foot outside the bag to cut in, swiveling their hips, planting on one foot, keeping a wide base, never getting their feet crossed over. The last drill that we'll do, the last drill that we saw today, we call the 4-bag drill. We pull out the middle bag. Then this drill is essentially kind of a combination of a few of the other drills that we do. It begins just like the lateral drill. We'll have a line of players here. On the whistle, 2 steps forward, working lateral movement over these first 2 bags, just like in the first lateral movement drill. In the hole in the middle, we want to see a great crossover step. The players should be toes and shoulders square upfield, and then in that crossover step in the middle should be a big step all the way across their body, turning, facing right, the last 2 bags. And then from there, they're just working a straight run through. Hands down on the bags, nice wide base, 2 feet in each hole, making sure we always have 1 foot in contact with the ground and that we're never hopping, never leaving both feet. And emphasizing in every drill, making sure that we get 7 spikes into the ground, never playing up on our toes, always playing with our feet flat so that we have power. Playing across from an individual who's probably bigger, stronger than we are, and of course knows the snap count. And again, we'll try to work these drills as often as possible, a couple days a week, and these have been a great key in terms of our developing athleticism and pad level.